I've been breaking down the various years of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, the vintage line that went from 1982 to 1992, rolling through with 82 through 87, covering the very underrated 1988 line. Now it's time for 1989. This is where things start to get a little weird, where you can't count on every figure in the wave being awesome. There's still some amazing characters, some really good vehicles that I definitely want to see the classified series team do their poof. This is now amazing and awesome techniques too. And I think this is a wave. There's a lot of candidates for them to improve drastically. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's take a look. The 1989 figures I want to see in the classified series line. What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. So the thing with 1989 and 88 before it was there was no great G.I. Joe cartoon to associate with these characters. 88, I feel, really suffered from that because there are some great characters. 1987 also suffered because the back half, there was like what, 5 or 6 characters from that rollout, that series that made it to G.I. Joe the movie. The other half were just, hey, how Big Lob take my spot? But 88 had some great characters, a full solid slate of great, awesome characters and vehicles. They couldn't miss with that one. That is one that I think stands up to any other wave of Joes except for 85 and 86. The character designs are awesome and their specialties make a lot of sense. Not so much the case with 89. This is where Hasbro starts to dip a little bit heavier into repaint alley. Let's repurpose popular characters, make them part of Tiger Force, Night Force, Python Patrol, Slaughter's Marauders, which didn't lend itself to a lot of really great original characters that we've seen previously in the other lines. And you can kind of see with the classified series line, the team isn't very excited about the 89 line of characters. And I largely understand it because when you look at it, it's basically, yeah, all the popular characters from other lines, from other waves, just the new outfits. But there are a few gems that I think the classified series team would make spectacular. And this was the year where the cartoon came back, although done by Deke, and it was not anywhere near the quality of the Sunbow cartoons. We got Operation Dragonfire out of it, and the best part with that was Cobra Commander came back to actually lead Cobra, which is great. But you can see in this box cover, kind of shows you what they were thinking. There are a lot of familiar faces. There's one new Joe here. Everybody else, Cobra Commander, Barbecue, Low Light, Stalker, Rock and Roll had already been done before. It's kind of the problem. Operation Dragonfire is better than I think it gets credit for. I was having a debate with my brother about it. It's not bad. Maybe I'm simply biased because Cobra Commander comes back in that one after being a snake and slithering off. He comes back to his former glory leading Cobra. And there's a lot of characters that I've said have been done in repaint fashion. So they've done decent amounts of these characters, but let's take a look what Hasbro's already knocked out in classified series 9 for 1989. Alley Viper, super win. That was a great figure. Gnawgahyde, the Dreadnought, really plussed up well. I haven't opened my Frag Viper yet, but it's a cool looking figure. The Night Viper we just saw. Hopefully everybody's made their pre-orders over at retrorobotoys.com. It really solid figure. Can't wait to mass army build that one. There are a few more that they have done as well. We got Python Patrol. I don't know why I have these figures, but I just love their garish, outlandish colors in the classified series line. And I did not want any parts of them in the Real American Hero series. But yeah, I really dig them for some bizarre reason. I find their colors work. Also, they were Cobra Commander's loyal troops in Operation Dragonfire, and that's probably the other thing that's twisting my opinion up on this faction a little bit more than I otherwise would. Then, courtesy of Surveillance Port, we have 4 of the 6 with Slaughter's Marauders, Barbecue, Lowlight, Sergeant Slaughter himself, and Spirit Iron Knife. We still need to get Footloose and Mutton Junkyard. They're a 2-pack away from being complete. So I would really be shocked if we don't see Hasbro finish them off next year. Run out of months in 2025. But these guys should be done because they're that easy. Then let me see. There was another one, and I apparently forgot to get that picture, but I'll bring him down later for you. Now, let's take a look at the 89 characters to see who really deserves a shot to be done next. And as usual, I'll break down the full roster of these solo single card figures. I'll do an overview of the vehicles, spotlighting some really cool ones, and then I'll just kind of gloss over all the repaints. So we'll break it down that way. And these pictures come courtesy of us, thanks to the fine folks over at 3djoes.com. Remember, they are the absolute best resource to see all these cool galleries of all these figures. So let's break them down without further ado with the Annihilator Destro's Elite Troopers. This is the Iron Grenadier edition to the 89 wave. And these figures, oh man, these will make for really great classified series figures. Hopefully, we can get a better job with that orange. There's a little red orange for me, but the orange and purple, I think, are a really fun color scheme. And you can see they've got the classic Iron Grenadier, real attention to the details of the costume with the cords connecting the boots and the buckles there on the feet. Then you've got the cords again here on this part, which is captured on the figure. And I just love the ability for them to take these little gyrocopters, go flying, ditch them, and then be ground troopers as well. The helmet, I think, would be really coolly implemented. And I'm not quite sure which way I think I prefer to see it in the classified series. Done up more like the card art or more like this with a little bit more elongated helmet. But I think these would be great additions. Also, how breaks up the black, red, and gold color scheme of the Iron Grenadiers, but I could easily see them deciding, let's go with this color first, and then let's do a retro version, or let's do the black and red, and then do a retro version of the Annihilators. Either way, these would definitely be one of my favorite choices for an army builder for this wave, because I think these will look really, really awesome. Next up, let's start rolling with some of the Joes. These may not be as great as some of the other ones. Backblast is a pretty decent one. I actually like his design. I think he looks cool. He looks a part of a classic Joe. He's got a Go Army t-shirt showing off the guns. He's really, really doing his thing here. And I dig that. One thing that's a little bit crazy and off-putting to me with his whole design is the fact that he is carrying his big, massive cannon to knock out air, the night ravens, the rattlers, the fangs. He's the anti-aircraft soldier. But this is something that is based in reality. It's just this big thing here would not fit really well on his shoulder. And in the real life inspiration for this, there is a platform. So it's sitting there on a base. That's how that would really work in the real world. And so I want to show you exactly how that would really look in the real world. And this is how his deal would be. I mean, it's not something that one person would work, but I think as a deluxe figure, this would be awesome because you can see it's got a little platform deal. We can have a little seat here, a little tripod action, and this would still all work for him. And he could just sit down and they could make this sort of a deluxe figure. I think that would be great for Backblast. And he's a guy, I think, I don't know why this keeps going up, but anyway, there we go. So now you can see, I think he would look really cool. We just need to eliminate this ridiculous hernia situation he's got. They fixed up heavy duty where he's not lugging all of it. This is even heavier because this is just going on his shoulder. So I think if they set him up with a battle platform, maybe they don't even need to make it a deluxe. That would make a lot of sense. So he's just got that. He doesn't have any small arms fire. There's no pistol. There's no rifle. No there's no assault rifle or machine gun. He's just rocking this thing. So probably throw him on a pistol or something for some small arms fire in case some range vipers get up on him a little too close. But yeah, I think Backblast would work. Got a cool helmet. Got a cool look. Maybe he's a cousin to Leatherneck or Gung Ho. See, he's got his map for his targeting setup, but I like him. I think he'd make for a really fun addition to the line. Next up, Countdown. He's one that I'm just kind of suffering and struggling trying to figure out how he makes sense in this line, considering we're never going to see a HasLab Defiant. But if you want to do some outer space action, here you go. I think there's a way to do that later on, but as a standalone astronaut, not really seeing his purpose. But you can see here, he's got his own dedicated jetpack harness setup going. He's got the helmet. I really feel like they would need to lean harder into some space warfare before Countdown becomes essential. He seems like he'd be a pretty easy figure for them to do if they did it like the figure. However, if they went with the card art, I think his design is pretty kind of interesting. So you can see all this padding, the rib deal going all along his body, got the rib knee pads. So, not a terrible design or outfit. He's got a lot of cool stuff. He's got a grappling hook, helmet gun, backpack, and you can see here how that backpack works. So maybe he would be one of those. Oh man, I didn't care about the Real American Hero figure, but this classified series look for him is awesome. So I don't know. He's not a huge priority for me, but maybe with the classified series magic, I would turn around fast and go, man, I gotta have Countdown. Next up is Dee-Jay, and he is the sole member of Battle Force 2000 that does not have his own vehicle. So sucks to be you, Dee-Jay. He's got another design where I'm like, I don't know what they were thinking with this one. Of course, they were looking to the future. I'm sure this is what everybody's going to be rocking come the year 2000. In the year 2025, this outfit looks outlandish. And I don't know what the classified series team would do, but boy, they would really have to do a ton here at Dee-Jay. I do think his specialty as a Comtech trooper would be useful and helpful in a fight, but they're gonna have to do a lot of work to change this design just to make it work. It looks clunky and it's just so much happening where he doesn't even look like he's part of G.I. Joe. It looks more like he would hang out with Captain Power. And maybe that's a way to put him in there. But yeah, I want to like him more than I do. He's got this really funky Comtech station backpack. Again, hernia inducing. And that was a theme for a lot of these 88, 89, 90 figures where it's like, why do they have so much stuff? It looks like it would break their back just to carry it. I love to see what they would do with Dee-Jay because I think his specialty is interesting, but wow, they're going to have to overhaul so much of this. I don't know if it would resemble this version of Dee-Jay, but I'd love to see what they would do. Next up is Deep Six, and he's one that I think is a pretty easily done figure in the classified series line. The original one came with the shark. This one, little color tweak, streamlined outfit. He's not like he's in a box and can't move. This was a lot more posable than that first one. And I think they could do some fun stuff with him. There was a tease at Comic Con where it was, what is this indicating? Is it a dolphin? Which we know comes with Deep Six version 3. This one I think is cool though, because you could have him in the devilfish, just dropping down, helping out Torpedo and Wetsuit, and then going back up. And, Deep Six is a good, useful character. I think I do want to see him with the shark first, and then we could get this. Maybe this is a retro card option. And I think they could probably use some of this for an ace figure, if assuming we actually do get him in the line, which I hope we do, even though we may not get a Sky Striker anytime soon. But Deep Six starts off a trend where some of the best characters in this wave are figures we've already seen before, just with new revised outfits. But Deep Six would be pretty fun. Then we've got Downtown. And Downtown is not hanging out with SWV. He's the Mortar Man. And we know we just got the Mortar Man, the original one, in short fuse. He's coming in the 2-pack with Steeler. Downtown has a cool outfit. I've just never cared about his specialty. When they showed him off, I was like, I've already got short fuse. Why do I need this? And yet there are other Joes with redundant specialties. I just never really saw the use for him. I'm wondering if the classified series team could do something else. Maybe make this another deluxe figure where he's sitting on a platform where he's launching from a mortar, where it's got a full-on battle arrangement where it's a full platform. He's got like maybe 2 or 3 mortars where he can just go back and forth shooting different ones. Maybe that's a way to make him cooler. I do like his helmet, and I think his overall design is useful. I just feel like, we've already got one Joe who can do this just fine. Here's a little bit more of his setup. And you can see he's got the mortar shells. He's got 6 on this backpack, which again would crush his back. I think his colors, the helmet's cool. Maybe change up his hair a little bit. His gun, I've never been a fan of it. It looks a little too big for a guy. I feel like maybe just give him a regular pistol. His mortar is pretty cool though, but I think we've just seen a better version with short fuse. And I really dig his helmet though. So that's cool. We'll see what Downtown can do if they were to decide, all right, let's enhance him for the classified series line. Then we got the H.E.A.T Viper. H.E.A.T Viper is for sure a figure we need to see done. In classified series, they would absolutely kill it. This design was great back in 89. It would look better in 2026. So the paneling on the side, the purple looks great. Orange and purple again. So we got one for the Iron Grenadiers. Here we get one for Cobra. He's got this big Cobra bazooka. And here it's too massive. It's just huge. I think they could streamline that and make it work. He's got his shells on his boots, and I'm not sure how they would make that work on the classified series. But I think it would be awesome if we have some sort of setup where he can just reach down and then just throw him into the bazooka and go nuts. He's got a really fun backpack with this little swoop to the side there, so it all connects. But this is a cool figure, and I think this was a great design. I think the classified series version will look even better. As you can see, this half mask, which really wasn't quite implemented the way they had it on the card art, but I think they would do an awesome job doing it now. They did include this ridge section on the side here, on the left side, and it feeds in. But I think they would really knock this out. Of course, paint his neck flesh tone as well. This would be such a great figure. And I know when they get around to it, it's going to be amazing. So I cannot wait to see this one. And then we got Recoil. Recoil is a character who is, I think, the best trait for him in this wave is he's one of the more simplistic figures with an easy to make sense of design. He's the LERP trooper and nothing crazy. He's got a rifle, he's got a backpack with an antenna, he's got a pistol, he's got a mine case. And you can see here on the card art, he's got a little wonky helmet hat deal. He's got sunglasses. I don't know what this gun is, and it's just whatever. He just needs that rifle. That's cool. Start to see the colors changing on the pistols because this is not a real weapon. And got his mine pack here. He's got a real basic, simple setup. But you read his file card, and it's pretty cool. He's a marathon runner, professional bodybuilder, and he's in excellent physical shape. And he's sneaking out carrying 100 pounds of gear. I mean, it's just like this guy sounds cool. His design is not too crazy. Also, he makes Storm Shadow feel more comfortable because he's not the only one with weird techie camouflage. So Recoil, simple, basic, but I like him a lot. And they don't have to work too hard to translate this to the classified series line. Next up, got my guy Rock and Roll. This is maybe one of the major characters you might think of where the version 2 might be better than the original. And we've got that tweaked up original version. Then we got the classic version in the retro line. We definitely need to get this one as well. His Gatling gun is such a cool addition. He's got a rifle as well. He's carrying a lot and he's just ready to go nuts, blasting every Cobra in sight. And everything about this design I think is cool. And the classified series one, I think would even enhance this even more. We get the colors on the straps, the pouches might get a little extra hit of paint. Then we got all the machine gun clips as well that feed into it. I mean, there's just a ton happening here. And this figure was great, but I think they do an even better job. Now, you can see this Gatling gun action. I mean, this is cool. And this seems like something where he could carry it because he's pretty strong anyway. They've established that all throughout the comic books. And I mean the machine guns on the hat. I mean, there's something about Rock and Roll, and this figure would look really cool in classified series style. Easy win, and they just knocked this out. So no worries, no concerns here. Maybe they'll make people all upset again, throwing on some tattoos and then giving us a retro version. But this one absolutely needs to get done. High priority, even though we've already gotten 2 Rock and Roll figures previously. Next up is Scoop. Scuba's an interesting one because he's the newscaster of G.I. Joe. So he's filming all this stuff, letting everybody know the evils of Cobra, delivering the real truth. And it's a really ironic Joe at this point in time. And I just think he's got a really interesting design. He was one of the few characters that were actually focused on the Deep cartoon, the Operation Dragonfire. He was the one original character we got in that thing. And he started off as a Cobra agent. So he's kind of fun. That, of course, did not carry on to his file card. That was not at all intended for this character when Larry Hama was writing this. But I think his design makes a lot of sense. And you could imagine all the cool stuff they would implement with this figure. You can see he's got a camera, he's got binoculars, he's got a really cool set of sunglasses. I don't even know how they're hanging. He's got a little microphone here and the camera. I mean, this is elaborate, and they would do such a cool job with it. He's got a battery pack because why do you need a cord? But it's fun, and you can see how everything works here. The glasses, the helmet, the mic, the camera feeding into the battery pack, the gun. He's all set for Cobra. And he's one where I think they would have so much fun just kind of like, how do we do this? This satellite relay backpack. I mean, he's got the disc here as well. So he's one I'm really excited to see what they would do. Not because he needs to be fixed up so much, but I think they would really go nuts throwing in all these details with him. So Scoop would be a really fun character. Let's see what happens with him. Next up is this guy. And say, guys, no stranger to figures in the classified series line already, but this one is a really cool design. And I feel like he always gets cool designs, but this one is cool. He's got these two big knives. And in the comic book, this whole outfit is from three Cobra interrogators, and he just steals every aspect of it to come up with his new design after he mows them down and messes up his face. So that's a cool backstory to this outfit if you're a comic book fan. And he's got a ton of gear. And I mean, we got a bad Snake Eyes figure. No, this one be awesome after we get my version 2 one from 85. But this one is really fun. You can see the nunchucks make one long staff here in this deal. So you can do a lot of stuff with him. And just a real cool figure. And did I say a full staff? I spoke incorrectly. That's a whole other thing. Little javelin launcher, Barn and Page from Lady J. Look at all the detail in this outfit. I mean, he's got tubing here. And of course, with the original Real American Hero design, they couldn't go into all this. But man, can you imagine them putting all this onto a classified series figure? This would be awesome. And of course, they'd have to make it where the knives are removable. That is a non-starter. They're just permanently affixed on there. But he's got his Uzi. He's just loaded down. He is ready for action. And how much fun would this figure be? So he's got a blowgun. That's what that is. Nunchucks, the sword, the Uzi, the backpack. And let's take a look at the backpack here. So it stores everything. So that's definitely key. But I mean, this figure would be so well done. I mean, Snake Eyes is always awesome. And this one, this design is just fun. And you can only imagine how much extra detail they would put into it with a classified series setup. Then we got Stalker, and they just continue on with these amazing designs for characters who've already gotten great figures. Stalker, of course, had that really great all camo outfit, so they retained some of that. And he's the Tundra soldier or Tundra Ranger this time. Comes with a kayak, which again, non-negotiable has got to be included. And that, of course, will make him a deluxe. How would they do it? Can it float? Which is also important. They all float down here. This is key. I mean, I want to be able to take this one out when it snows and I've got a little trail of water as the snow is starting to melt. So I can just have Stalker zooming along, making sure that he does not go down the drain. And Pennywise looks up at me. Do you want your Stalker back? No, you can keep him. But this figure would be so well done in classified series. This design was epic, great. I already know we've gotten so many cool winter gear. Give him that helmet, the kayak with machine gun, the little paddle. I mean, and of course, it does not need to go on his back. That's too much. But yeah, this is a really cool design, and they would go so hard with this. And we all know this. And we've gotten a few snow troopers already. We've got Snow Job, Iceberg is coming, Flint, Lady J, Frostbite on the way, along with the Snow Cat. We need to get Tundra Ranger Stalker in here. So yeah, let's see how they would do that, because this would be a really fun deluxe figure. And absolutely a key one for me. Next up is the Target Trans-Atmospheric Rapid Global Assault Trooper. Now they're starting to get really creative with them, but it still works. So here you go. Laser gun, check. Shell, joystick, you gotta have that. Face shield and a hose. I mean, come on. This whole setup for him is great. The color scheme, also cool. Iron Grenadiers back in action with another figure for this wave. And yeah, we got to get this Destro, and they've even included it on the Real American Hero one. So you know they got to include that with the classified series version. So we got this, and you can see how it's like a little compact shell deal going. So this is they're all taken to the sky, doing their thing. This is where you can throw Countdown into the mix. He's got some Cobras to battle. So would this be okay? Nah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to do a 2-pack because then, of course, you'd only have one army builder going against one Joe all the time. So yeah, let's have a solo pack target. That way we can do something with Countdown. But very cool design. Check out all these grenades, and yeah, he's just going nuts. So how many? 3, I think, is my base army builder for all Cobra Vipers and Iron Grenadiers. And this one looks really cool. And of course, you would like to see a little bit more chrome on that gold to really set it off. The helmet's a little bit different than what we've got here with the figure. I'd like to see a little bit more closer design from the card art than the figure in this instance. But yeah, this would be a really fun one too. Let's see. Let's go on to, oops, I'm sorry. Let's go all the way back to the rest of the Carter figures. That was it. So this was a pretty lean lineup in terms of figures, but they've really inserted a bunch of repaints. So here's Night Force. This is the second wave, if I'm remembering that correctly. And most of these figures we don't have. Charbon, Lightfoot, Muskrat, Spearhead, and Max. Shockwave we do have. He was the one I was trying to find the photo of. And then Repeater. So we got Repeater and, all these guys we still need except for Shockwave. And let's get them in their regular versions first. Let's not do here's the alternate colors look, and then we go with the classic look for them. So you can see there's still a ton of them. Of Night Force, we got Outback, we've got Crazy Legs, we got Lieutenant Falcon and Shockwave. So we got 4, and there's in Tunnel Rat. So we still got a bunch of these left to go. Python Patrol, we got them all knocked out. So they're covered and done. Like I said, I do have the Crimson Guard, just have not opened them. Copperhead, I did not want because I like Copperhead's original outfit. But we've got all of these guys, and we've got a bonus one. So with Viper, we're covered there. Slaughters, Marauders, we've got Barbecue. We've got Low Light, Spirit, Sergeant Slaughter. We need Footloose. We need Mutt and Junkyard. A 2-pack makes so much sense. Footloose doesn't need a bunch of gear, and Mutt, I mean, they've already got these figures done. Those are easy to do. Now for the drivers and pilots, got the Arrow Viper, got Darklon. We actually have him, so that's cool. Dogfight, Hot Seat, Long Range, Payload, another astronaut, Track Viper, Wild Boar, Wind Chill. So we got a few name characters here. And we got Rampage. And that one, just a repaint deal. So let's take a look at some of these vehicles. The Arctic Blast, I think, is a really cool one. And this is one, as we get more snow environment stuff with our Snowcat, this is one I think would be really easy. I think for the most part, they could just repurpose much of the Ostriker, just go even bigger wheels, and just make sure we've got a little section for 2 Joes to hang out. All right, so let's do more of a turnaround so you can see. I mean, this is just gliding. It's all about the big wheels. This is easy. So I would like to see this. Windshield, Wind Chill comes with this. This is really a basic setup. I mean, just Joe's on either side, cannon action, big wheels, and he's just gliding through the ice. I would love to see this sometime next year in advance of the Snowcat, because this would be fun to also bring out in the snow. I mean, we've got an Arctic Hiss coming, so we need some more firepower to help out our guy Frostbite, and maybe a little windshield for wind chill. So there you go. But that's one I would like to see. We got the Cobra Condor as well in this mix. This is one where it's like, yeah, that's cool and all, and this is a very cool design, but I want to get my Night Raven first. This we can get to later. But yeah, this is a solid one. Cobra, not an Iron Grenadier setup here. But yeah, it's fine. It's just one of those deals where it's like, yes, I need to get my Night Raven first before we get this vehicle. Then we got the Cobra Fang 2, pretty basic. And again, we need the Fang before we get this one. So let's hold off on that. Cobra his tank 2. I mean, we got an Arctic one coming, so we don't need that right now. Let's take a look at the Crusader. So we got a G.I. Joe space shuttle. So we're all set for space action here. And you can see what they've got going. Not bad. I don't really know how they would make this work. I feel like this is what we would get in lieu of a Defiant. So maybe it's just an opening for 1, 2, 3 Joes. And even then, I think that would be a lot. So with the Avenger Scout Craft, weapons do not shoot. So you can see you got this section, and then you got the full-on deal here. So, I mean, would it be cool? Yes. But is it possible? Probably not. I think the Avenger might be something that we could see better, even though we got Ghost Rider as a Joe driver, we can't mention. So I don't think the Avenger detachable scout craft would make sense either. But would you like this? Would a space shuttle make sense? Would that be something you all be in for the classified series line? Then we got the Mudfighter. I think this is a pretty interesting vehicle as well. But again, need my Skyhawk first. And this one comes with Dogfight. And you can see he shot down a few Cobras. This is one that's pretty easy, though. Like, this is one along the lines of the Fang, the Ferret, where it doesn't have to be really big. We just need it to be relatively small and just enough space for one guy to fit in there, one Joe to fit in there. So you can see this is not too complex. Does it need to be even bigger than the snake? Maybe not. I mean, the snake fit a Cobra Trooper, so I think we could do the same here with the Mud Fighter. So maybe $80 with, well, I guess it'd be $100 when we throw in Dogfight, but that's one of the things kind of doable as well. Then we got the Raider. The Raider is a larger scale vehicle, and this one is a cool one. I like this one. And they were really into converting battle units, very inspired by Mask in this one. This elevates, and in the comic book, this is really fun. I actually really like this. I think the Raider is a fun vehicle. So we got at least space for 2 people in there. And you can see our guy downtown next to Hot Seat. And he's chilling. Hot Seat's okay. I mean, not a really great design, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I think this would be a really fun vehicle. This is where I kind of wish they didn't make some of the other vehicles that probably were smaller as big, because this one might be a little bit harder to work in there, especially to get this elevation. And I feel like to do that, it would probably have to be a HasLab, even though it doesn't really need to be. I mean, this would be a fun one. I just am wondering how they could make that work. So we'll see on that one. Speaking of making it work, the Thunderclap, this one is probably never going to happen. It's a full-on battle station, 3 vehicles in one, because they were all about that at this point. And I mean, this is just a massive deal. I mean, you can see this is where, oh man, if they felt fully confident with all the vehicles, turning them into HasLabs, we got a full-on playset here. I can see this for sure. I mean, this is cool. We got long range. There's just so much they could do with this. And I'm wondering if Hasbro would consider something like the Thunderclap, where they do phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, where you pay $60 for this, $50 for this one, and then 100 for this one, and you could just combine it later. I mean, of course, there'd have to be we're for sure doing this, but I think this would be a really fun one. And it doesn't have to be a HasLab. I think that would be the easiest way for them to implement it, to make it all happen in one shot. But man, this is one that I think would be a lot of fun. So now that I've gone through everything, let's take a look here. There's just some more additional deals. Iron Grenadiers, Darklon's Evader, his vehicle, Destro's Razorback, and then a bunch of repainted stuff for Night Force, Python Patrol, and Slaughter's Marauders, and Tiger Force. Let's go back up though, and let's take a real look. Which vehicle would I like to see on this? The Arctic Blast, I think, is my main choice, because it's just a simple vehicle and it doesn't need to be expensive. I think that's an easy Pulse exclusive where it's an all striker essentially, and it's basic. It's $100. Call it a day. We'll include wind chill, and we're all done. Then I think if we were like, all right, what else do we get? Realistically, the Mudfighter seems to make the most sense as the next vehicle, but I would love to see the Raider just because I love that elevated platform. That was really fun. Now let's go back to the actual Joes and Cobras. Which ones would I like to see for this one? Which are the essential ones? I'm not going to go with Stalker or Rock and Roller Deep Six because I want to see other characters added to the line. So which one? I feel like H.E.A.T Viper's been name mentioned or name referenced. So with him out of the way, let's go with the Annihilator. I think that design is just too cool not to see in this line. And I like to break it up, have some more color distinction in the Iron Grenadiers instead of just the black, red, and the gold color palette for them. Then let's go on to the Joes. Which one? I feel like this is a little bit tougher because there are two that I feel like are the only obvious candidates here. Definitely not Downtown. So is it Backblast? Is it Recoil? I feel like Recoil simply because the guy has a simpler outfit and he can fit in. He wouldn't look out of place with any other wave. And I think that's his advantage. Where I think Backblast needs to be a deluxe figure. Recoil simple and easy. So that's my choices for that here. Not the Thunderclap. The Arctic Blast is a vehicle. Recoil as my standalone Joe, and the Annihilator for my Cobra / Iron Grenadier choice on that one. So that's it for the 1989 wave. I'll get to 1990 much sooner. I promise. This is too much fun not to let it go months and months before the next installment. So let me know which ones of these characters would you like to see next come in a classified series because there's still plenty of characters to choose from. And as always, thank you so much for watching. This episode of Loud's Figure Files has been filed.